State Treasurer Dan Rutherford loves competitive sailing, and he's been a crew member several times during Chicago to Mackinac Island races on Lake Michigan. But if Rutherford's Republican campaign for governor is metaphorically like one of the racing boats that he's turned into a summertime hobby, it's dangerously close to being swamped heading into the March 18th primary. The first-term treasurer announced his gubernatorial bid last June.
We can take this state, ladies and gentlemen. We can take it to a place that we can once again be proud of.
And as the only GOP statewide office holder to make a run, immediately was positioned to be a top-tier candidate. In raw votes, Rutherford, in his bid for treasurer, had outpolled Governor Pat Quinn statewide in 2010. Rutherford closed out 2013 with a respectable $1.39 million in his campaign fund, and he had been polling solidly in second place in the four-way GOP gubernatorial field behind private equity investor Bruce Rauner. But in early February,
there's absolutely no truth to the allegations.
Rutherford's campaign began taking on water because of a federal lawsuit from a former male staffer who alleged Rutherford made improper sexual advances toward him and pressured his state staffers to do campaign work. Rutherford forcefully denied those allegations.
This thing smells.
Initially laying blame for the tempest on Rauner.
No one, including Bruce Rauner, is going to destroy me.
But later backing off. The treasurer also launched a taxpayer-funded investigation into Edmund Michalowski's complaint and vowed to make it public.
Oh, let me tell you what, I'd love to be able to sit here right now and look every one of those cameras in the eye and each one of you reporters, and you put it on tape, exactly what was alleged against me, exactly the time frame that it was alleged against me, and exactly the lack of information about it, but I can't.
But pulled back once Michalowski sued. The allegations came on top of reports about Rutherford's repeated travels as treasurer, including numerous trips abroad paid for by third parties and dozens of domestic trips where he roomed with an office underling in hotel room. Rutherford has attempted to quell the controversy by dealing with it head on.
I think people see through this what it is. I mean, here's someone who's made allegations, purportedly of something years and years ago with no substantiation to it, and it comes up just a few weeks before an election. I mean, it's very political, and, this is a very blood sport state. And no, I mean, I'm getting tremendous amount of support, and we're moving forward.
The controversy has put an uncomfortable spotlight on Rutherford's personal life as a single man, leading one television interviewer in early February to ask him about his sexual orientation. In that WLS-TV interview, Rutherford curtly denied he's gay.
The elephant in the room, are you gay? No. Next question.
Which he repeated to the Chicago Sun-Times.
Are you gay? No. Okay. Next question.
Governor Pat Quinn, Comptroller Judy Parr-Topinka, and Secretary of State Jesse White, who like Rutherford are all single, have generally not been subjected to questions about their personal lives. Rutherford, who told the Sun-Times he regards any question about his own sexual orientation as inappropriate, steered clear of addressing the general fairness of him facing personal scrutiny when fellow statewide office holders have not.
I'm not going to go out and speculate on other people and what should be done or not with them. That's your business.
The meltdown has put Rutherford in a defensive mode as his standing in the polls tanked. His campaign fundraising has slowed to a trickle, and he's attempted to shelter his immediate family from the fallout. I'm almost afraid to answer anything, said his mother, Carol Rutherford, when contacted by the Sun-Times. She declined to respond to any questions, and a Rutherford campaign spokesman later made an unusual request of the Sun-Times to make no further contacts with Rutherford's family. Rutherford's legislative career began in the Illinois House in 1993, where he remained until moving to the state Senate in 2003. His time as a senator ended when he became treasurer in 2011. As treasurer, Rutherford said his office has returned $369 million in unclaimed assets to their rightful owners during his first 3 years. An investment in the college savings programs his office administers has jumped to a record $6 billion. Despite two recent polls now showing him in last place, Rutherford holds out hope voters will see through the allegations against him and his gubernatorial ambitions somehow can remain afloat. Whether one is treated fairly or not is how one defines it, he says. All I know is I'm in this race for governor, and I intend to keep standing strong. This is Dave McKinney, reporting from Springfield.